What's up, you guys? This is Phylecia, your ballin' and bipolar success coach here on another podcast episode. And let me tell you guys, thank you for listening. I have been told many times that I need to start getting guests on here, and I am working on that. It's just so hard for me to get a guest and then schedule the time and then do the thing. So I am working on that right now. I wanted you guys to know that. Our regular intro, you can follow me really on any socials: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My Instagram is PHYLECIA underscore Ballin and Bipolar 01. My Facebook is Phylecia Ballin and Bipolar Success Coaching. My Facebook group you can join is Ballin and Bipolar Hour Support Space. I wanted to mention here too, I do a live every Monday from about 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, or within that time frame. They're only about 10 minutes. I would love to build that, half hour to where we can hop on as a community. You can ask me any questions, concerns that you have, anything like that. So I do those on Monday. I did not do it this past Monday because, I think when this podcast launches, this is going to be null and void. But anyway, you can hit me up there. I would love to talk to you guys. That would be awesome. And see how you guys are really doing out there and if this content actually helps you. Also, if you don't know, I have a book on Amazon. It's Be Happier, Get the F Out. I think it's like $8, and if you get the book, there's a lot of free resources there that you can download from just content that I've built and stuff like that. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. Today, what we're going to talk about is medication a cure-all? Right? Medication is not a cure-all. So the reason that I wanted to do a podcast episode about this is I know that I mention medication a lot. And I am a believer in medication if it is absolutely necessary. Now, don't get me started on kids being on medication for ADHD. Whatever. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But for all intents and purposes, for bipolar people, I do think medication helps us because it helped me and I've seen it help many other people. Now, the reason that this is the subject matter this week is because last week I met a lady at my boxing class, and she is a psychiatrist who treats bipolar people. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. She was like, I know. So we went out to dinner, and she said she has been looking for resources for her bipolar patients, like outside of psychiatry. And she's like, I just can't find anything. And so it's just a really cool kind of connection that I made, and that's great. But my question to her, and really what she brought up first, she said, it is so hard because a lot of my patients think that one pill or medication is just supposed to cure everything. And she said, medication is supposed to help us get to a place where we can actually do the other mental health components of our life. And I was like, talk to me about what exactly you mean by that. And she said, well, people come in and they're on medication and they feel okay, but they don't do anything else. Like they're just taking their medications and they're not doing, gratitude work. They're not doing meditations. They're not exercising. They're not eating right. They're still drinking all the time, or they're still, and she said, you can't just take a pill and it be a miracle, and she said it can change a lot for sure, but at the same time, we have to do the rest of the work. How many times have I said, medication is a process, but it is up to us to do the rest of the work to come back to thrive. So, like for me, my journey with medication is, it took about 2 years to find the right dosages. We switched around some things and things like that. But ultimately, I've been on the same meds for the last probably 12 years. But after that, I think in a metaphorical or an analogy, if you can think of a pendulum, right? The pendulum of bipolar is like mania is way up here and the depression is way up here, and it just goes way too high. And what medication is supposed to do, if you can't see this on a video, if you're listening to this on a podcast, the pendulum, think of it as a swing, right? And my nephew's swinging way up high, and then he comes back and he's way up high, and then he goes. That is bipolar. Now, medication, what it's supposed to do is get you to a place where you're just kind of like nicely swinging, but you're still going up and down a little bit. It's up to us to find that absolute center of gravity and be able to communicate to ourselves what we actually need to find center every day. Now, medication is supposed to get us to a place where we're just kind of teetering a little bit and it's not so dramatic, and we're able to function as a normal human. And a normal, healthy human takes care of their mental health. They work out, they exercise, they do all the things to be as healthy as possible. We just take medication so that we're able to get there, right? So if you can think about it, let's say we're talking about a really motivated, successful, mentally healthy human. Well, they probably wake up, they probably have a morning routine, they probably meditate, they probably have a gratitude practice, they probably pray, they probably eat healthy, they probably exercise, they probably show up for their responsibilities. Like that is what a normal, healthy human does anyway. Okay. Now add on the component of being bipolar and taking meds and trying to get to a place. Again, medication gets us to a place where we're supposed to be at a place where we can become the mentally healthy person who does all those things. Okay. Because when we're depressed, it's like we don't have capacity to do everything, but we add on one thing at a time, one thing at a time. I'll tell you about my sister. Now, she's not bipolar, but a health journey that she is on, she texted me and she was like, okay, this is what I'm going to try to do this week. And she had a list of like 10 things she was going to do. And I was like, time out. I love this, but time out. I said, you cannot change your whole life in 7 days. You are going to burn out and you're going to go right back to what you were doing. I said, what I would do if I were you is I would focus on silence in the morning to set your day up with intention and then focusing on diet. Because I said, yeah, working out is awesome and it gets your body moving and all that kind of stuff and doing everything is great. I said, but if you add on 10 extra things that you are not used to doing, you're going to be like, F this mess. I'm going right back to McDonald's and I'm going to lay on the couch all day. Like that is detrimental to our success. And it goes right along with the bipolar stuff. You know, in the beginning, when you're flailing, the question is, what can I do every day to feel okay? You know, if I'm taking medication, great, but what's one more thing I can do to add on to complement my mental health, complement bipolar, complement the meds that I'm taking? And what I would say is that practice of gratitude or setting your day up with that intention beforehand. I think the mindset is the most important piece for any kind of journey that you're on. The mindset, if you have a goal, let's say our goal for bipolar is I want to thrive, I want to live, I don't want to just be bipolar, or your goal right now is just to be stable, or your goal right now is going on a health journey. Your goal right now is building a business. Like anytime you have one hell of a goal, you have to start small. You have to add on one thing. Make that one thing just natural. Then you add on another thing. Make that one thing and that two thing natural. Then it becomes what you do. I was listening to a podcast, guess who? Rachel Hollis, and she had this guy on. I think he was the author of The Gap and the Gain, which is great. I haven't read it yet, but the podcast was great, and I've downloaded it on Audible, and I can't wait to listen to it. But the gap and the gain concept is thinking about how can we turn trauma and how can we turn our past experiences into a gain or into a learning experience, and seeing where we were in the past and who we are now. Whether you think that person is lesser than the one in the past or better than the one in the past, how can we use that as a gap and a gain so that we can move on? Okay, now I haven't read the book, but this was kind of the idea that I had. And what I think is so important in that concept is understanding, like, you have to make, he said in the podcast, and I wish I knew his name, but he said, you know, back 5 years ago, everything that I wanted to do then is something that is just a part of my daily life now, where it was a whole huge goal for him to do X, Y, and Z. But now X, Y, and Z is just part of his normal life, and he's working on other stuff. So that same thing, I look back, you guys, listen to how powerful this was. I looked back at a note that I had written in my phone from 1 year ago. 1 year ago, I had written down goals for myself, and it was like, you know, same thing, you know, coaching program, speaking. I want to launch my book. I want to do content every day. I want to start a podcast. Da, 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 da. Well, guess what? I got a speaking gig. Now it's not paid, but it's on the road. My coaching program is ready to go. It's all built. I sold my first course. Somebody bought my course for $97, which was wild. I have a podcast of almost 40 episodes now. I do content. I'm on all social media outlets. What was the other thing I said? Podcast, content, coaching, whatever. The point is that a year ago, I was like, I want all this. And I ultimately, out of 10 things on that list, 5 are just part of my normal day. The other things and the higher kind of goals for myself are going to take a while. It's going to take a while for me to live the dream of speaking on stage and getting paid for it and coming out like my dream. I don't know if you all know that, but my dream is to be a speaker and have a mini concert and us have one hell of a time and all that kind of stuff. That is going to take years. But within 1 year, I got a speaking engagement. I built a coaching program with the help of my team. I couldn't have done it without them. And you have to thank the people in your corner for supporting you. All my friends have been so supportive. Oh, the book. I not only wrote a book, published it, but now it was a bestseller on Amazon. All of that, it's wild. Like, I have done so much, but in my daily life, I cannot see it. I can't see it at all, because right now all I think is I'm in debt. I need to make more money. I'm in debt. I need to make more money. Like, I am living in a scarcity mindset because I'm just worried, because right now my life, I should be on cloud 9, right? I think I have an awesome life, and daily I'm totally grateful. I have a good life, right? I have down bouts. Don't get me wrong, but I cannot see the forest beyond the trees. And the reason that I got off on this tangent, you guys, with medication was because it all circles back to doing one thing, okay, and making it a habit, and then doing the next thing and making it a habit. So again, medication comes really with our first step in our stability is that medication box, all right? Doctors, medication, routine, all that kind of stuff. But what can we do? One thing to make it like brushing our teeth. So if you don't have any kind of setting your day with intention, if you don't believe in that, I swear, man, I swear by it. If you don't do it, do it. It is so helpful and so powerful to come into the day with silence and meditation, gratitude, and setting your day with intention. Now, I'm not saying that's the cure all either. It's all these things kind of compounding together. And if we can do that, and if we understand what is my purpose, finding pride in myself, all this shit that I talk about all the time, it will come. It's just a process, okay? And once you begin taking medication and you begin one other thing to add on to that, it's going to become like brushing your teeth. It's just something that you do. Then you get used to it. Now let's add on working out for 3 days a week for 10 minutes a day. All right. That becomes natural. So right now for me, my life is so kind of scheduled down to the minute. Now, sometimes I take a day to just veg out. Like, everybody has to have that as a human. But if I told you this on another podcast, it was like, give whatever 100% is that specific day. If 100% for you is taking a shower, rock on, just take the freaking shower. If 100% is taking a shower, working out, taking your meds, and going to the doctor's appointment, do all those things. But take it day by day and understand, again, medication is not the cure-all. It is absolutely important, but we want the pendulum to swing from all the way up. Remember that kid swinging on the swing set, and it's like wild, and the whole thing is like up because the kid is moving so high on the swing. We want it to just be kind of that center, and then we do the rest of the work. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to just mention was emotional support. So there's the physical, mental, and emotional. So mentally, we want to be as stable as possible. Okay. We want to fight our brain. We want to fight our mind and become as mentally healthy as possible. Physically, yeah, we want to be physically healthy with diet and exercise and all that stuff. And if you know me at all by now, you know that I struggle with weight, always have, always will. That's my journey right now too. But the next thing is emotional. And I think that comes in with believing in something, believing in the universe or a God or religion or the spirituality aspect. What is your belief system? That comes in with the meditation, the gratitude. So all of these components equals center. It's not just about mental health. It's not just about physical health. It's not just about emotional. It is putting all three of those together and then building a beautiful life, but it takes time. Okay. So I hope that episode makes sense for you guys. I hope you took a little tidbit from that. Um, I will see you out there. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember, if you're not balling yet, you can be, you will be. Keep trudging forward.